And we're live! What is going on, everybody? That was weird. I don't think that my view is live because it shows that we're live in like 40 seconds, but something tells me there was a lag. Yeah, you guys can see me. So there was a lag of sorts that wasn't supposed to be there. How's everybody doing today? Happy Wednesday. Let's see, you got Lord Getface in the house, Tuxedo's here, Nice is here. Nice and early, 13 hours of work, and my cheaty arrived today. Jeez. I'm glad your printer showed up, but 13 hours of work sounds rough. Hey Rob, Terminally Chill's here. I think I just said hi Greenbeard a second ago. Hey Stuart. Hope you guys are all doing well. We are continuing with the UNIMOG today. The goal is to get done. We're on the last. I did make some progress on the last Axel, and was hoping to finish it before today's stream, but there was a part I needed to print out, and I've since printed out a ton of parts. I think I've done another 6 trays of parts or so there's a lot of that. Also, I am going to clear some space to show you guys this. So, Maurice reached out to me maybe 2 weeks ago and mentioned after watching one of our recaps that I should be careful with the servo because the servo, once it powers on, will center itself, and since I did not center it, basically I risk potentially breaking the plastic piece if the servo goes to center itself and it's way off from where I have it set up. So I did pick up this guy just off Amazon, which is basically a little servo testing kit. I didn't have a 5-volt power supply, so I grabbed this old handy electronics testing power supply, and so we'll need to do this probably again once I get this in place and mounted, and we'll definitely need to do it on this guy here. But I have not used many servos. I've used like some of the cheap little plastic servos. I used one for Clicky and it just wasn't an issue, but I was not aware that that was a potential issue. So I'll power this on. So basically I'm feeding it 5 volts. That is really flashy because of the shutter speed I'm running, but feeding it 5 volts. So this has got that, and then this is connected to that. And so this little tester will let us, I can scrub the positioning. So it goes 8 to 22, I believe is the range. Yeah. So 15 is where we want it to basically be centered. So all I need to do is turn this. I couldn't get it exactly at 15, but like 1501 is close enough. And that's it. And then basically unplug it, and that will have centered it. So by the time I get this in place, I anticipate it will shift a little bit. So I'm going to just move forward with the install, and then I will loosen the printed screw, or the screw that's attached to this, and let it center itself, and then tighten it back down. So there was no information about that as far as I saw in the instructions. Maybe it comes later in the guide, but like in the step on the servo, we've already mounted it, and I think that's where that should be. But I didn't know that was a thing. So yeah, definitely thank you to Maurice for that. I reached out to Jason, and he was like, let me get you in touch with Casadio. But I didn't end up hearing back from him, so I just pinged Steve, and Steve was like, yeah, no, absolutely. Depending on how you have it positioned, when you turn it on, if it turns your printed parts to a place they're not supposed to be, it could totally crack them. So we don't want to crack parts. We definitely do not want to crack parts. So yeah, this thing is, I mean, look at these. These are the two axles that we've done. It's nuts. It's very cool. Let's see. I usually connect all the electronics before assembly to make sure everything works. That centers the servos as well. Yeah, I've never done any sort of like RC stuff, and like I said a second ago, I haven't done much with electronics when it comes to servos really at all. And the one that I can recall using was for like a clicky setup, but the arm of it was not attached to anything other than like a free spinning part, so there was no concern of it binding or like, you know, getting caught on something. So yeah. Let's see. I feel like while I was ranting about that, I missed some stuff. Hey, aka Steve, how's it going? Lisa's here. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Kenneth. Is there going to be a stream collab? Yes, there will be a stream collab with Steve. So I will tell you guys a little spoiler. So Steve and I are building the Antithesis Aether Mark 1 or Mark 1.1, which is basically a printer, super small, beefy printer where the tool head goes up and down, and then the bed goes in X and Y, and it's a lightweight, just basically copper trace PCB. That's the bed, and then a super thin magnet and a small piece of spring steel. And the last thing we were really waiting on, Steve's sending me some parts, and I'm sending Steve some parts, but the last thing we were really waiting on was there's three, well, it was the heated beds, and it was 3 CNC pieces that we both needed, and I ordered them from PCBWay, and I was waiting for them to show up. They showed up yesterday, so I was super excited. The parts look gorgeous. I wish I had them out here. They're upstairs, but I called Steve and showed him the parts, and we discovered that I screwed up. One of the step files I had them machine for us is not supposed to be machined. I accidentally sent them the step file for the actual printed circuit board. So we have the printed circuit boards that we're supposed to have that are the heaters, and then we have a piece of aluminum in the shape of a printed circuit board. So we do have those pieces in aluminum, thanks to like Dan, who I think's the creator of the project. He sent us, I think Steve bought one, but he sent me the pieces not anodized, because we got ours anodized. And so if need be, we can use those, but I did message PCBWay last night basically saying, hey, I screwed up. The reason why it happened was PCBWay's website needed step files, and all of the files for those parts were just DXF files. So I went into Shaper 3D and isolated the parts and exported them, and somehow I screwed up. When I double clicked on one of the bed components, I grabbed the wrong piece. So we are waiting to see what PCBWay says as to whether they can get us those two. It's the smallest CNC part that we need, and what timeline will look like on that. But I think regardless, the plan is that Steve and I are going to hop on a call Thursday to run through everything I'm sending him and he's sending me, and then try to get it shipped out Friday. And even if PCBWay can't get us the part in a reasonable time, we will just go ahead and start the build. And we've got the like I said, non-anodized version of the part, and it's just a small side of the bed piece, and so maybe we'll end up swapping it. But yeah, I guess anyways, long story short, yes, we're doing a collab stream. I made a screw up, which is unfortunate. Kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Steve and I had a good laugh about it. And I think that if not before, Steve might be able to tell you guys when we're streaming as early as his stream on Sunday. And I would say I will definitely be able to tell you guys when we're starting next Wednesday. So yeah, sit tight. Sit tight. I mean, it's definitely happening. Hey, Tulsa. 77 kilograms? Wait, what is 77 kilograms? The box? The printer's not that heavy. I mean, it's heavy. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's just such a unique build, such a unique motion system. The way it works, kind of goofy but awesome at the same time. So the truck is not level yet. Yeah, we'll get started right now. I did end up getting, this has been my side project for the last little bit here, but we did end up getting, show you guys, then I promise we'll start building. Rock wool. So this is the inside of the shed. I got one wall done, well, the bottom of it, there's up top still as well. And then I got this one nearly done. I wanted to finish the last square, but it meant opening up a new bag, and I was like, if I open a new bag, I'm gonna want to finish it. So I'm hoping, I've got a track saw showing up today, which is what I'll be using to cut all the ply. So that's like my big side quest project on top of everything. So we'll see how that goes. We did end up we went with sheathing plywood instead of OSB, which was more expensive, but a lot less expensive than regular ply. And then, or not regular, but like sanded ply or anything fancy. So we're gonna hang that, and then based off how it looks, decide whether I'm going to fill all of the many knots that are in that wood type and then spray the shed, or just leave it as is. We're not sure. So, Cheaty box. Wait, what do you mean Cheaty box is 77 grams? Wait, you said 77 kg. I'm building an RC car too, though it's just a bit simpler. It's a Traz's TRXM base build. Is it 3D printed or no? There's no 3D printing. Got it. Okay, all the weight of everything. Yeah, the printer itself is very heavy. Aaron and I had to carry it up the stairs, and it is it is heavy. That looks pretty sweet. So this is not printed, right? This is like a full kit. Sweeham! Wow, 38 months, dude. Thank you, man. Thank you for the 38 months. Late arrival thanks to a slow day, but I am here. You're here. Dude, you haven't missed anything other than some rambling. So I'm printing a body for it from Maker World called the Armadillo. Oh, nice. So you are doing some 3D printing around it then. Okay, let's go ahead and... Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go ahead and get going here. So this is where... Oh, come on. This is where I am at with this guy. And if we go... I missed like 3 weeks. We made some good progress, but honestly, like this is largely what we've been working on. The axles are just really involved. There's a lot of pieces. I think once we get this last one done, things will start really coming together a lot quicker. Although there is a lot of like, there's a ton of just these like connecting bars for the, I'm assuming for the full drivetrain. So there's still a lot of pieces to attach, but we are making progress. I feel like I will, once Steve and I start on our build series, probably do a little bit more of this off stream, just to that way when we jump back in, we're further ahead. So, all right, let me see if I can figure out where I left off. So, this is. Okay, so this is what I have. I did that. Hey Steve. You say it'll be quick. Wait till you get to the wheels. Wait, what about the wheels is gonna take a long time? Okay, so yeah, I did this. I created 2 of these guys. So we've got 2 of them in my hand right here. And now this is where I'm at. So let's do this. Nice with the 51 months, dude. Oh, that's the one thing I wanted to do between last week and this week was find a new sound effect or 2. I have not done that. Thank you, Nice, for the 4 years, 3 months of support. That is a ridiculously long time. I wasn't even 30 yet. All right, let's grab these pieces. Let me know if this angle works. I think this like kind of over shoulder angle is sort of nice, but let me know what you guys think. This is not the right piece. I think this is the right piece. No? Oh, maybe I'm just looking at, wait. I think I screwed up already. No, I did not. Okay, this is the piece we need. So this is like this, and then this is going like this. Get the bearing in there. Okay, it looks great. Awesome. We'll leave it like this at least for now. And then we need. Wow, they really switched up the orientation between the parts. So we need this one. And we need the X. This is wrong. There's a couple pieces. Oh, throwing stuff. All right, there's a couple pieces that look very, very similar. So I think this is the piece we need. So yes, and that does not want to fit on there at all. Is it my bearing? Okay, so this is definitely the right pieces. Let's see what's going on here. That bearing looks seated correctly, so is there some crud? Let me get this flat head. There was supports in here, so I'm wondering if maybe, let me see if this is sitting like that. No, that should have no impact on it. So the only place I could see really causing a snag is either where the bearing itself is sitting. So let's scrape a little bit like that. I'm not really seeing much though. think there's much there. This feels pretty clean, this part. So let's check out this guy. This one looks pretty good to me as well. Could maybe smooth this out just a hair with my head, but not entirely convinced that's it. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's really it. So let's try this again. It seems fine. And this guy goes like this. It's very tight. What is it? You know what? It must be, it's not the bearing. So it's gotta be this front area. I'm wondering, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're just going to, we're gonna assemble it, and then I will slap the little connecting piece into the drill, and we'll see if that smooths it out. So let's just do that. So let me ream this part out. Up here. Okay, I'm gonna do the same for the other piece. Okay, and then we need M225s. I did clean up all the screws. M225 with the 225s. Yep. How's the index stuff been looking? I haven't really been keeping up. I know that I've got notifications that Canik, I think he got a assembled Core 1 8 tool. Curious as to how that's been looking, especially compared to the initial videos that came out. Hey Raj! It's looking expensive. Yeah, I want to order the, I don't know if I'm gonna do 4 or 8 tool, honestly. If I do 8 tool, it largely would be for the memes. Like, I don't think I've really got a need for 8 tools. 4 would be plenty. So yeah, if I do it, it would more just be like, just to do it. My index chip, nice. What is yours? Is yours going on a DIY build, or is yours going on a Prusa? That is tight. All right, let's do a couple things here. So first off, let's get our hand tool. Okay, so let's back off like a turn. It's getting a little looser. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this in. Slap this guy in here. I'm installing on my Core 1. Nice. I think I knew that. I think you told me that. Where? Oh, where? Beep-a-deep-a-doo. Is this the one we need? Let's see. This sure looks like it'll probably work. Ooh. I'm wondering where all the non-Prusa Index videos are. Hasn't the dev kit been out for a while? Yeah, the only person I know that's got like a non-Prusa one going is Steve. But he was an early tester as well, so he's had a lot more time than other people. Let's see how that feels now. Still not as smooth as I'd like. It's definitely one of the tighter. It's definitely one of the tighter ones that we've had. And it's the outer portion of this guy rubbing. Let me try to loosen it another just tiny turn. Oh, that feels a lot better. It feels a lot better. Okay, we're gonna leave it like that. It's still not perfect, but compared to what it was, that is feel a lot better about it working fine versus binding. I've been thinking a four-tooled salad fork would be a fun build. Yeah. What size salad fork? Like the 120 or or salad fork doesn't come in a 120, does it? Isn't it a 180? Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna leave this for now, but it's not as smooth as I would like, that's for sure. But it's compared to how it was. Like before, I'd say no, this is a huge issue. Now I'm like, it might work. It's a little bit of a bummer that piece is just. I almost wonder if I should add a little bit of grease on the inside of that, inside of this carbon fiber piece. It's not a gear, but just the outside of it to give it some. Yeah, I could sand it. I mean, I could sand it a little bit. I'm almost thinking though, just a dab of grease would be sufficient to get this thing spinning. I feel like it's working itself in just more as I go, just by doing this. Okay, it's really not that. I'm gonna leave it. I think it's getting better, and that it's just going to, it's just gonna get easier and easier as it goes in. So let's leave it for now. Let's do. I think we just. Let's see. Oops. Okay, bearing goes in there. Extra grease. Yeah, I don't dislike the idea of grease. I don't dislike the idea of grease either. I just haven't done it for any of the other parts, and I'm not entirely convinced it's necessary. Just a little extra rolling resistance. Yeah, let's leave it for now. Dear God. that is not wanting to go in. What did I do last time? Did I just use this? I cannot remember. I think last week, when the electricians were here, they turned off the power, and I'm 99% sure, I'm gonna verify right now, that my Prusa, or my Prusa slicer, I think it restarted. I don't think I ever saved my modified profile, the one that had is that even? I don't think I ever saved my modified Prusa profile, so I think that the flow rate went back to what it was at, the 1.03 versus 1.0, which is a bummer, because that was something that I had changed. Yeah, that's too wide now. In hopes that it would make tolerances a little less tight. Okay, that's definitely, that's in at least. Okay, these ones we need to do. I missed it, but Tuxedo, did you go with the 4 or 8 tool? Okay, drill these guys out. Nice. Did you do it just because, or do you actually have things that you think you might want 8 different colors / colors and materials for? 3/3. All right, we're getting lower on M230s. I mean, there's still quite a bit, but considering we started off with 107 of these, they're definitely not my favorite. They take quite a long time to install, and they also are my biggest concern when it comes to heat, generating heat as I screw them in. All right, we're gonna let that one chill out for a sec. Did you guys see the E3D announced that they're working on an abrasive nozzle option for index? I think I'm 99% sure that's what I saw a few days ago. Looking in chat as I decided to volunteer myself to build a Discord bot for a server I'm in for an MMO I play. Nice. What MMO is it? No, I figured that the price difference between 4 and 8 was not much. Of getting the 8 tool was a better value overall. Got it. What is the? I've looked. I just don't have it in my memory bank. What is the cost of the 4 tool and the cost of the 8? Is it like $5.99 and $7.99, or is it more than that? I remember that the price when they released it, it was definitely higher than I was expecting, but I can't remember. I cannot remember exactly what that was. Okay, so yeah, I do remember these guys actually. For these ones, I had issues getting the bearings in, so we will see how this goes. Okay, so I just dropped this guy in. Those are meshing nicely. Don't remember? Okay, I'm gonna look. Prusa index upgrade. Index 4 tool assembly kit. That's the full. That's printer and everything, right? It's got to be. Yeah. Let's do. Is it parts and accessories? You said Final Fantasy 14. Oh, nice. I think my 90% sure that my buddy, that was one of the MMOs he played mostly when I was living with him. It's an older, like, it's been out for a while, right? I know that they've, I think, done a bunch of like upgrades to it, but if that's the same one I'm thinking of, he was playing that at least 7-8 years ago. Prusa Core 1 Gen 2 3D printing modeling Core 1 index. This got to be it, right? Okay, so 8 tool. Yeah, this has got to be it. So it's 1049, so this is more than I said. Oops. Oh, wow. Yeah. yeah. Okay, so yeah, maybe I would do the 8 then. That is definitely more than I expected and closer than I expected in price as well. I give Cheaty 9.5 out of 10 for packaging. Yeah. Did they have the nice? They started using these like really nice hard plastic / rubber bumper things in the box. Yeah, that's definitely that's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. I would love to see the prices be $4.99 and $6.99. So yeah. Okay. I didn't need to change cameras. Apply a lot of grease. Okay, we're greasing it up. I'm down to my final. I got 2 brand new packets of grease, and then I've got one that I think is mostly gone. But this is the last axle, so assuming we don't have a bunch of other stuff after this that needs grease, then hopefully we're okay. And if not, I've got other grease that we could use. Oops. Just kind of smear it in there. This packet's gone already. Oops, it's not wasted on my finger. I've been really heavily greasing this build, partially because it's me, and that's just what I do, but partially because of the fact that it's carbon fiber on carbon fiber, and I'm trying to not have them unnecessarily wear each other out. Oh, nice. You're getting the Gen 2 upgrade. That's cool. Surprised I didn't use super lube. In this stuff, like, I've only got, no, actually, I do have actual grease of super lube somewhere. Yeah, it might be gone. I think I put most of it into that syringe that we used for a long time. This is basically what I'd probably be using if, that's what I've been using for all the screws, but that's probably what I'll end up using when we run out of this, if we run out of this. I bought that tub some years ago, and like it's probably gonna last me for, I mean, I don't want to say forever, but it feels like it may last forever. It's just a lot. It's a lot of grease. Why are we not? Did I not cut this all the way? It's gonna shoot out like one of those like a ketchup packet when you don't quite puncture it. It's a lot of grease. It's probably overkill. Yeah, I'm gonna actually scrape off some of this grease because it worked its way up. I'm gonna shove some of it back down, and then whatever works its way back up, I will scrape off and put it off to the side over here, and we'll use it for the next set of gears. Just really trying to fill all of the channels on here. Okay, that's probably good. So let's scrape off this and all of this and all of this, and let's place this. Where's my, there we go, grease tray. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's get this guy. It doesn't feel like it's going in straight. It's not. All right. And we are using M220s. Is there word as to whether the Index, at least the Prusa version, is going to end up being available at whatever printed solid is now called, Prusa USA? Or have they not mentioned anything? Hey, GPs, how's it going? So you missed my little update on the collab stream with Steve. We were waiting on some parts from PCBWay and they showed up yesterday. So super excited. And then we discovered that I made a whoopsie. And when I exported the step files from the CAD drawing, one of the things I exported was not the part we needed, but instead 3D, like a step file of the PCB. So we got two of the three pieces we needed, and the third piece we got is a aluminum shaped PCB, or an aluminum shaped like a PCB. So I reached out to PCBWay to see like what we could do last night, but I haven't heard back yet. So Steve and I have the parts technically that we need to do the collab series, but ideally we'd like to have the parts we intend to have. So we'll see. Okay. I know. It does. It's pretty epic. I'll wait. I was thinking about running upstairs to grab it for you guys. But I'll show you guys on Steve and I stream, because it'll be a funny like look what Daniel did. I was pretty convinced initially that it wasn't a me mistake. But I checked the 3D models that were uploaded to the website, and that's the model that shows up. So I don't see how it could have been. I don't see how it could have been an issue with PCBWay or their website. It definitely seems like it was Daniel was distracted and should have triple checked things that he did not. You can be assured that I will not do that again. That is definitely something that I will moving forward. Always check, but yeah. It's a pretty good sized piece of aluminum too. I mean, it's a small printer, right? So it's not like this massive piece of aluminum, but it's the biggest piece out of the pieces we requested. Yeah, it's a CNC PCB. And it's not even just CNC'd. It's CNC'd, it's bead blasted, and anodized rose gold. It's like it was finished so nicely. I might need to, yeah, we're gonna have to bust out our Nippics for this to see these. I think for this guy I was using a socket. The socket. Oh, there it is. It's frustrating. It's one of those things where is that the right size? No, actually, that's a larger one. I cleaned a little bit. You guys probably can't tell, but I did clean a little bit. And gosh, now that I cleaned, I can't find the stuff that we were using. I had a perfect mask before. A perfect mask. I knew exactly where the parts were. Now that it's clean, that socket has gone missing. So I'm gonna try to find a socket really quick here that will work. Give me one sec. Let's see, tiny socket. Tiny socket. Looks about right. Yeah, that should be fine. Tiny sockets. I would love to see the person who did it at PCB this. Yeah, it's kind of funny because the PCB, like they made the PCB in the same order. Like I had the PCB, it's the bed heater. Like the bed is a PCB, and so they created the actual PCB, and then as well as the aluminum version of it. Oh, I broke that. Ooh, no, that was not good. Yeah, that bearing has got to come out. Oh, man. That sucks. I think that this, yeah, this socket fit right on top of the thin section of the bearing, and so when I applied force, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to get this guy out. I do have another one of these, so it's not the end of the world, and I can print the replacement right now, but cut the print with flush cutters. I'm kind of hoping that because it's slightly damaged, I can just get this piece to pop out, but I probably can't. Yeah, it's gonna end up hurting myself. Yeah, it's the bearing that broke. Yeah, it's PCCF. I can show you guys. It's the, hopefully there's an extra. If not, I'll have to order some. You can kind of, hold on, let me get it angled. Oh, that's just grease, hold on. Let me clean it up a little bit and see if you can actually see it. You can see the slight indentation on it. It's the one closest to this side, and the way the light shines off of it. Just want to see how it spins. That one. Yeah. Yeah, that's a rough mover. That sucks. So let's not use this again. I think that I should have used the oops. It doesn't turn very smoothly, no. This is what I should have used. This is what I had used before, and it largely spreads the load out, or at least is just on the center, like the inner part of the bearing and not the actual covering. So I think what I'll do is fire off a print of this part really quick here. I have another one, so we can move forward, and while that's printing, as long as I don't break the next one. Let's see, actually. Let's, before I fire off the next print, see if I can get it in here. I do need to use my Nipix pliers, and I have done that. This is the fifth. That was the fifth one of those that I've done this with. So let's see if I go like this. Get the same thing with all of them though. So the only piece of the equation that is different is that I used a different socket than the one I had before, but everything else was the same. Yeah, that one, it's in now, but it still needs to be fully seated, so let's see if I use this. That's definitely too short. Sucks. I wish let's see, was I using this last time then? Just doing this in the socket like that? Maybe that's what I was doing. Let's try this. Yeah, I just don't have, I don't think I've got anything. I don't think I've really got anything else. I agree, this is not ideal. But I do know that like it has worked this far without damaging anything prior to this one. Use the other end of the socket. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can do the socket with this nut in here, because the nut is definitely wider than the socket. And we did use the nut a few times already. So let me see if I can just, that's too, open up a little bit more, maybe like that. Yeah. Yeah, this is not ideal. Let me see if I've got a better socket or something else that might work a little bit better. If I can find... No, that's not going to do it either. Print a tool. Even just something solid, cylindrical, that's like the size of the bearing. I mean, that could definitely work. Cool Whip! Thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you. Let's see. Sorry. I'm part of it for a sec. Okay. So let's do calipers. I don't even know where my calipers are now. Kind of a mess. So it looks like the diameter of this is 15 millimeters. Looks like it's like right at 15 millimeters. So I probably want to go slightly smaller, like 14 and a half or something like that. That's a really good idea, Terminally Chill, just to place. Well, the issue I'm running into is that for some of these the bearing needs to go further than the surface, and so the issue I'm running into is that like I need something that doesn't go on the outside of the bearing, it has to just go on the inside. Let me just look through my sockets one more time. If I need to, I will order more bearings. That is not the end of the world if it comes down to it. I'm just a little sad though that like let me look on the table a little bit more, because I don't see why I would have put that socket away that I was using before. So this is the one we don't want to use. This is the one that we did just use, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Just curious because we used the other one quite a few times throughout this build and didn't have any issues. But I'm not seeing it, so yeah, I think maybe we do just try to print out the cylindrical piece. What's up, Mio? I just damaged a bearing. I've had to install, like, this is the 5th one out of the 6 that we need. And also, thank you for becoming a member again, buddy. Basically, like, tolerances are super tight, and there's a probably slight over extrusion on top of the fact that this is carbon fiber, so like nothing wants to slide in. And so I've been using backside of one of these, and that's worked relatively well, but for some of them, especially these, like, I have to use something like these to push them in a bit more. And I'd been using just a socket, and it seemed like it's worked out fine up until this point, but I couldn't find the size we needed, so I used this guy, and the pressure just basically applied all that stress to the small shield on top of the bearing. This is polycarbonate CF. it's pretty wild stuff. So yeah, let's do 15 millimeters by, I don't know, like, this is probably plenty tall. Let's do 15 by 25. Let's see, how much clearance do I have? Yeah, let's do 15 by 25. We'll just make a quick little model in here. So I think we'll do sphere. Nope, that's not what I want. Cylinder. And we want it. I think we'll do like 14.5, just because if it's 15 exactly, and that's the exact size of the bearing. Oops, I would rather go a hair smaller. And then, what did I say for height? 25, so that's perfect. Yeah, so that's basically what we want. And then let's delete all this. Let's add back the part that I screwed up, which was Neo. Feels weird calling you Neo. I don't know, like a lot of people I call by their online names, but for some reason it feels weird. How many people call you Neo versus Danny? Like, what's the spread? I've got to know. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships, man. Feel like 14.9, you want to spread the load between the inner and the outer bearing. Got it. Okay. If you make a stub, it will center the tool. Yeah, I could do a short stub, probably. Let's do, okay, so we'll do 14.9 is what we're saying. I'm gonna make the stub definitely smaller. Danny, or Daniel will suffice. Okay, that's pretty much how I've always been too. I've had people ask me like, you prefer Danny, Daniel? I'm like, I don't care. I answered all those things. So we're gonna do. It looks like the inner. I don't have my calipers, so I'm just going based off a ruler. But it looks like it's right at 10 millimeters. So I'm thinking like, I don't know. I don't want to go quite as tight as 9.9. I'm thinking like 9.75 maybe. Let's do that. Let's create another one. Another cylinder. Let's see if we can even do this. I don't know. Why are we not? There we go. Edge shape. Cylinder. We want 9.75 by 9.75 by, I don't know, let's do 2 millimeters. 15 millimeters is the outer diameter. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Okay, now, can I, actually, is there I don't know if there is an easy way to center this. I should just be doing this in Shaper. All right, let's hold on. Give me 1 sec. Hold on. I don't know why. When we were just gonna do the nub, then it would have been fine, but since we're adding a little piece to it, might as well just do it in the CAD software. Nice with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, man. Thank you, everybody. Oh, you'll find this funny, Danny. This will be the last time I'll tell the story today, and then everyone else will have to wait until. Wait, why is it telling me to create an account? I have an account. I pay for this. Don't see your browser tab. Hold on. There we go. Log in. So, Steve and I are doing a collaborative build series soon here, and we needed some machine parts, and so PCBWay, I was in charge of putting. What is going on here? Hold on. I already have an account. Log in. You're currently logged in. Continue. Open Shaper 3D. Okay, there we go. So I was in charge of getting the parts made, and there was 3 CNC parts we needed each, and somehow, some way, I accidentally, because there wasn't step files, it was just like the full step CAD file. I had to go in and like export the aluminum pieces or the brackets and pieces to export them, upload them to PCBWay. Well, for one of the pieces, instead of exporting the metal piece we needed, I exported a 3D model of the bed PCB. So I now have 2 anodized bed, like PCB shaped pieces. So I'm trying to figure out how to get the correct piece. Actually, I'll show you. Actually, we've got this model is probably not that big. Wait, what did I miss? It's in a closet because I over tightened belts and ruined some bearings. Oh no! Is that the Micron or what printer? Yeah. So this is the part that we needed. This is just a small. Oh, come on. I usually use my Mac. I'm not sure what the hotkey. What is this? There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is the piece that we needed. All right. It's a pretty small little piece that goes on the bed. It is, where did it go? On this side, right? Yeah, this is the piece that we needed. And the piece that I ordered was this. So this is the PCB. In my defense, and now that I'm looking at this, I totally see why I did this. So I didn't verify with the DXF files, and when I looked at this CAD rendering, the pieces that looked like they were supposed to be aluminum to me were the pieces I ordered. I could see like this piece was aluminum, the bed bracket. I could easily see that this bent piece right here was aluminum. And I think I just saw this and was like, oh yeah, there's the final aluminum piece. Yeah, that's what GP said. I'm definitely not going to get rid of it. It needs to go on like a wall of shame somewhere, absolutely. But yeah, it's like the prettiest. I got mine done. It's bead blasted in anodized rose gold, so it's like the prettiest plate ever. And I didn't realize I even made the mistake. I was super stoked on the parts, and I called Steve on a video call to show him the pieces, and that's when I saw, or he discovered what I had done. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun build. It's just ridiculous. So okay, let's quickly create that part, which. Let's do new piece here, and we are doing a sketch, this surface, and we said 14.9, I think. 14.9. That seems right. And then I believe we said we were doing 25. Oh gosh, I'm not used to using this computer. I usually use Mac for I think we said we were doing 25 mil. And then we need to do another sketch on this face, and for that one we said 9.75, I believe. Okay. And then I think I said I was just going to do 2 millimeters on that. So let's try that. There we go. And let's add a little. Let's add just a tiny. Nope. I want to fill it or chamfer? There we go. Okay. I think that's exactly what we need. Do you have a CNC laying around? I do. I do have a CNC laying around. I've got a Shapeoko 4 Pro XXL. Then I have an old Nomad, and then I've got the same. I think I've got the same printer, same CNC that you've got coming, the Z1 Pro. Hey Steve, I was just talking about the antithesis CNC part. My piece of shame. Also, you missed it, but I damaged a bearing, Steve. It was in one of these pieces, which is kind of funny because I've done, like, this is number 5 and 6, and they've all turned out fine. But I couldn't find the socket we had previously used. And I should have done socket to nut, but I did not. And this socket, the way I had it, fit like perfectly in between the metal outer and inner pieces. So all the weight just basically went straight into the metal shield. So I am now making a little printed piece that we are going to use for bearings, which I should have done. I should have done a long time ago. Ignore that. That was my attempt at Prusa slicer. Yeah, there we go. So we'll use that to press some bearings, and then I need to replace. A few somewhere here. This guy. Okay, so number 16. I need one more of those. That is here, here. I think it's under desktop. What did I say? Was it 14? I think I said 14. Nope. 15? Okay, now what part number was it? 16. Oh, so close. So close. Okay. So yeah, let's just split this. Split objects. Okay. And I think for these, they want them basically, yeah, pretty much 100% solid. Well, it is 100% solid. It calls for 30 of these, and then 95%, oops, 95% concentric. Okay. I don't think so. So it's 25. It's 25 millimeters, and these go fully open is 40 millimeters if I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, fully open is 40 millimeters on this guy. So that gives us, should be hopefully be plenty of space. I think. So the thing I do need to do though is empty. I've got a tray of parts that completed while we were streaming a second ago. So. Hey Armor, how's it going? Not too bad, man. It's been going pretty good here. This last week was like trying to get done. I did another Sunday release for the YouTube video on the Sunlu AMS Lite dryer, and I thought like this won't be too long of a video, I'm sure, but it was like 18 minutes, which isn't crazy long, but it still ended up being a pretty long video, and there was a lot of like, between all the drying and testing and stuff like that, it just took a long time. And then I finally decided on, Aaron and I decided on what we're gonna cover the shed walls with, and so I had a ton of insulation and plywood, 30 sheets of plywood get delivered on Monday. So Aaron and I were just moving plywood, and I started putting rock wool up in the shed. It's been busy, man. It's been busy. Are you all recovered from the weekend? Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel good. I've been eating like a pig, man. I've had some, I mean, last night we had like just healthy rice, salmon, and green beans from the garden, but I've had my fair share of junk food this last week. Okay, so this is gonna take an hour and 40 minutes, so we won't even have it. So we'll probably end up moving to some of the other side, like assembly stuff we can do. I'm gonna make some progress on this by the time. Well, I assume we're streaming next week the same thing. I gotta talk to Steve and see what's going on, but I'm gonna make some progress between now and next Wednesday. We'll be done with this. Like, we'll be quite a bit ahead of this. Have you seen any special posts on X lately? I have no idea. I have no idea what you're referring to. The only things I've seen like is index stuff, kind of. Outside of that, no. I have not. I haven't really been on X very much. Do you want to fill me in? I'm curious now as to what it is that I'm missing. Okay, yeah, let's do like all of this sort of smaller assembly stuff that needs to get done. We can do. Nobody here has told me anything either, as far as like, we talked about index a little bit earlier. Here's to tease the core one. Oh, I did see that. I did see that. Yeah, it's coming sooner than we thought it would. I lied. I did see that. I think it was like a photo. It said like something big, and then yes, I did see the one photo. That is exciting because I do know that from everything I've heard, the Core 1L is a killer machine. And I know that every time there's been a post about index, especially proofs related, there's a lot of comments asking about the L. So that's awesome. I was telling people it was at least 9 months off, but apparently I was way off. Well, better to, what is it? Under promise and over deliver than the other way around. Do you have an index kit coming for your Core 1? Like you're just not your Core 1, like a Core 1L, but just like a Core 1?
25 thumbs up.
Did my message not show earlier because it said a retailer's name? I didn't see anything. I've been printing maker chips nonstop on my Core 1 index for days now. Nice. Your Core 1 index, Steve, is not an early version, right? It's like, it's just, or is it? Did you, because I know you got, I'm pretty sure you did a Founders Edition thing, but I thought the Founders Edition thing was not a Prusa thing. That was just like a general index one. I love my C1L, it's my go-to, but I will say that my Nebula and Mercury 1.1 have been surprising me lately with this Gambit project. What is that? What is the Gambit project? I pre-ordered my Founders Edition. Did you buy a Core 1 Index? Did you get... I can't remember. What's the story with the Core 1 Index then that you have? I can't remember. I cannot remember what... Have you looked into the community Core 1 mods? I bought the Core 1 version... Oh, there was a Core 1 version option. That was my missing link. Got it. I didn't realize that. No, I haven't really looked into any mods for it. It's been working really well. I've just basically been hitting print, dumping parts, hitting print, dumping parts. I think out of this entire build, which it's done all the parts for other than these tiny TPU balls. And then the TPU glass fiber I didn't do on it, but everything else it's done. Sorry, I'm trying to look for M216s at the same time, and I'm not seeing them, which is weird because there should be tons of them. M212s, M220, there we are. It's literally the biggest bag. What was I saying? Yeah, there was one part that I had an issue with, and it was, I think, this guy. Yeah, this guy yesterday, which is a pretty long part, and this area right here, there's not a ton of just, I don't know, surface area to get grip on the bed, and that part warped ever so slightly. So I basically just created my own mouse here and reprinted it, but it's working well, even though I very well might need to get the C1L version when it's released. Text-to-speech didn't get through? No. I didn't hear... Oh, I see a notification, only 25 thumbs up, smash it everyone. Yeah, if you guys have not hit the like button, do so now. I haven't checked. Well, I guess we're at 25. Let's try to hit, I don't know, let's aim for 40. Let's aim for 40 as a starting point. You can get a 10-pack of those bearings from oh, interesting, $7.99 with 1-day shipping. Sweet. Yeah, I'll probably, well, yeah, I might just order some just to have them. It wouldn't be a bad idea. October can get here early enough, waiting on my 8th index? Wait, 8 tool head, right? That's gotta be, there's no way. I mean, there is a way, but I don't think that's what you meant. All right, let's just install these screws. Is this the right way? Yeah. There's my 10. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Terminally. I was just gonna ask what the name of those bearing types were, but that's easy enough, just searching the dimensions. It's gotta be an 8 tool head version. I don't think that, like, if it was the 8th printer with index, I don't think they'd be quite as excited. But an 8, like, getting your first 8 tool head version, I can see that being incredibly exciting. So many screws. I'd be pretty excited about 8 printers with index. I would too, but I feel like after having that many, it'd be like, yeah, I'm getting one more versus like I'm so excited to get my 8th printer. I don't know, maybe I get pretty hyped about stuff, but I don't know, by the 8th one, if it's like the same printer with index, I'd be like, yeah, I'm getting one more. Hey Steve, do we have a target we feel comfortable saying for starting the stream series? Like, I've mentioned a few times in this stream that I ordered the wrong part as far as the PC or the CNC part goes. I'm just wondering, like, the early, like, I could see possibly not this Sunday but next Sunday working. If we're shipping out stuff on Friday of this week, then we should have everything we need by then. I'm concerned. We could aim for next Wednesday. Like, we could make it happen. We would have to pay for like a guaranteed shipping method versus, like, I was gonna probably do like USPS ground, which I think it's usually ends up being like 3 business days, but that way there's a little bit of a cushion just in case. Yeah, I think Sunday would be better. I just wasn't sure as far as like what days you're available when you're gone. I'm gone the weekend of September. Oh, this is really starting to strip. I just got 5 more of these bits delivered. They're at the front door, so that's awesome. But I'm gone September 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th that weekend. So if we start, so that would basically mean we're going to be able to start on that Sunday, stream Sunday, Wednesday, then have to take that Sunday off. So it's kind of up to you. It's kind of up to you what you want to do. Or if you want to wait till I'm back from that, then that's kind of far. Oh, you're gone that weekend too? Okay, that works out beautifully then. Do we want to continue that Wednesday then on my channel, or do we want to take a full week off and then resume on your channel? I guess we could decide that by then, but do we want to say, like, tentatively that we're going to be starting this series not this Sunday but the following Sunday? I'm good with that if you are. I can't think of anything that ever happens on a Sunday right now in my head that would be something that I've committed to already, like family stuff. So today's the 26th. What is that? What is the date? That is 6th, 9th, 20th, and 23rd. 6th, 9th, 20th. Okay. Hold on, I'm pulling up Google Calendar here. So that is, yeah, so September 6th we'd start. And the 9th is that Wednesday you said you're good on. 20th is, so we'd skip 20th, 20th and what's after the 20th? 23rd. Let's do you think, I think we can do it. I don't know. Let's try to do it in 4 streams and pick those 4 days. Yeah, let's aim for that. Okay. So, okay, we're September 6th is the Sunday, September 6th. The game plan is that's when we are starting the build series for Antithesis. Awesome. Perfect. That's great. Yeah, I think that works out. That works out perfectly. So we'll do, I'll have on this channel one more, I'll have one more stream on this, the Unimog, next week. And then the following week will be Antithesis. Then the following week will be Unimog, and the following week will be Antithesis. That'll be fun to change it up. We can do a marathon stream on Labor Day. What day that is? Labor Day is, what day is it? The Daily Layer. Sony screws. Steve knows I can't do long streams. I burn out. First Monday of September. Okay. September 7th. Got it. Oh, okay, so it'd be basically the day that we start streaming on your channel and the day after. Got it. I would listen to a Dan and Steve podcast. I would enjoy doing a podcast with Steve. It would be very squirrely. The topics would be all over the place, but it's such a hard thing to commit to. I did a podcast for a couple of years called was it Mod Chat? When my channel was all like video game hacking and modding before it became a 3D printing channel. So a long time ago. There's another YouTuber named Mr. Mario 2011 who still does all video game modding stuff. And we did, I think it was a once a month, I think it was a live stream, but it was like podcast format too. We'd rip the audio and upload that to Spotify and like every podcast spot. And I enjoyed it, but it just became difficult to maintain after a while. Steve definitely has the voice for podcasting, a face. Yeah, it's definitely fun. I just feel like it's like anything, it's a commitment. Because there's the plan, like you can say like, oh yeah, we'll just do like an hour or whatever, but there's like the pre-planning of it all, then the testing of it all, then the, you know, if you're like most people probably, if it's for audio, like if it's just gonna be audio, you probably want to clean up audio after you've recorded it as well. It's just, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff to it, but it would be fun. Hey Maurice, you missed at the beginning of the stream, I plugged in my I picked up a little servo tester doodad, but I couldn't find, Steve, I looked for a 5-volt power supply that I could like sacrifice and couldn't find one. So I just ended up using my like benchtop testing power supply, and it works well. You can either like it lets you jump between 8 and 22 on the servo. You can manually turn it to where you want it to be at. But yeah, it seems like it's gonna work out well for basically centering the servos. Happy early birthday, Maurice. When's your birthday? How early are we talking? My nose. Also, we will open up the giveaway form in 10 minutes here. Let's see. We got 33 likes. Let's get to 40 likes. There's 65 people here. We can do We can do 40 likes. 40 likes for anodized PCBs. Tomorrow, oh man. You got any plans? Anything fun going on either tomorrow or for the weekend? I just used the BEC from the ESC. I don't, those are something controller, basic electronics controller. Is that? I'm hoping I can get all the printing done by next Tuesday to assemble my life-size Gambit on stream. We'll see though. Nice. Have you already started? Did you start assembling it? Also, how did the rest of the, how'd like the Pokemon that you were doing with your son? Hey Vikings! Happy Wednesday. So many screws, man. Oh my god. Basically like a screw simulator and chill stream. I still have half the jacket, one boot. Okay. How much filament? Typically an ESC will have a small connector that outputs 5 volts for servos. Oh, interesting. So with my controller that I bought, when I plug it in, it doesn't automatically center it. I have to move it to center, but generally, if you just applied 5 volts to the servo, does it automatically return to center? I think that's what Maurice said. I know you sent me a bunch of material. Maurice sent me a bunch of stuff regarding how to center the servo. Gambit will be, oh my god, that's insane. Pokemon came out great. I have it in primer right now. I just need to finish painting it. That's so cool. Where's it gonna live? Is it gonna live in the garage or in your kid's room or? We're nearly done. There we go. Got it. Receiver. Okay. I haven't even. Yeah, no, we did pop out the receiver. I wonder if mine has a little 5-volt connector. It needs to connect to a receiver. Got it. Okay. But you can use a 5 volt to power your servo tester. But if I'm not mistaken, with the tester I have, so like I mentioned earlier that I have not used servos very much, but from everything I saw earlier, basically said that the range that they have is from like 8 to 22, and so to center it needs to go to 15. So in my case, like if I'm powering it on with this device and turning the little rotary to 15, that's got to be centering it. I would assume, at least. Yeah, I picked up a servo tester. I was talking to Steve, and like I saw one on Amazon that was really inexpensive, and thought to myself, I'll probably need this again at some point in my life. Halloween is coming, but with full-size X-Men kids trick-or-treating, we'll expect full-size candy bars. Pokemon will probably go in the shop somewhere too. I'll be redoing my shop soon to make it more organized and have more storage. Are you working, like, is the shop your garage, or do you have a separate unit that you're working out of? Okay, this is done. Finally. Okay. Nice, we got 45 likes. Thank you, everybody. 6 minutes and we will get the giveaway opened up. So the question is, do I want to try pressing in the other bearing? I don't really have a whole lot to lose, I suppose. If I'm going to be buying some replacement bearings anyway. My shop is half my basement. Got it. Man, I'm so jealous you have a basement. But it's where I do all my builds and where I work out of. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna try it with this piece. curious if I can find one that locks in a little bit nicer. Give me 1 sec. Let me find the perfect socket. I should have skipped preheating on the Core 1 because it's still preheating or soaking up heat. This one might work okay. That is huge. Not work. Also huge. All right, let's try the back side of this and see if it works. I'm going to be insulating and putting up walls down here with some better light. Nice. I just showed off earlier, but I ended up going with rock wool for the shed, which is definitely not the cheapest option, but from everything I read, like working with it is supposed to be a lot nicer than like fiberglass, like traditional insulation. And then I will say so far, I've done a bunch of cuts. I was telling Steve, like it cuts like a dream, which is awesome. And it has some like, they have a sound specific version, which I didn't get, but it does have some like sound or noise dampening stuff, even the standard one. And it's also, I think, flame, like, I don't know if it's considered just flame resistant or flame retardant. I'm not sure. But it looks great. I would definitely look at it. Chamber heating takes forever. Yeah, it does take forever on the Core 1. That is probably my biggest gripe, is the time it takes to heat the chamber up. Yeah, I don't love this. I wish I had a much taller version of these. When Steve was here, we had 2 sets of hands, so he was able to hold it well, or I think I was holding it while he was able to get the jaws around it. It's too big. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait until I have the printed piece. I lied. I think I'm gonna wait. Oh, what it would do. Let's start on the other half. So for the other half, yeah. So we got this piece, this guy going into here, like that. Yeah, it seemed kind of. This one's not. Oh, no, it's pretty tight too. Massachusetts has a program that offers free. Oh wow, I'm going to try that first, but if it doesn't work, I'll likely do a layer of foam board on the walls first. Wait, been playing around with a dual loop PID for my bed today. Thermistor blew in my bed heater, so while I was there, I added 2, one on the heater and one on the aluminum bed. Definitely a project you can share with people and still have enough to do. Wait, which project are you talking about, GPs? You're talking about your project or this project? Okay, so we're gonna do M225s. All right, the printer is moving. Oh yeah, that's that is as tight, if not tighter, than the other one. So let's definitely. Yeah, it's definitely too tight. All right, let's loosen you a turn. Let's loosen you a turn. Okay, slight improvement. Let's loosen you one more turn. One more turn. Definitely better. Yeah, I'm gonna still throw this in the Calico Baby Clipper support dual thermistors for your bed. One to control the heater, one to better gauge the temp of the actual bed. So you're using the thermistor that's basically built into the heater, and then you're just placing a thermistor on the opposite. Is it on the opposite side of the bed? Or where is it in relation to the, assuming you're using like a silicone AC AC bed? Hey Jim. All right. Oh, let me get the giveaway open. Shorten URL. All right. Filament giveaway link is officially in chat. Oops, there we go. Hey hon, happy stream day. All right, let's let this rock and roll. I finished my Unimog a few days ago. Nice. How did it go when you powered it on and tried driving it? Hey zombies. But so I'm just curious, like I understand, so one of them that you're placed in the heater is probably at surface level and the other one's inside, but like if you have the bed, let's say a square bed, is one on the underside where the heater is and one on the top side, so you're trying to see like how long it takes to pass through? Or that's gotta be it, right? You've got one on top side, one on bottom side, and you basically drill the hole on the top. Even though that would be difficult, because if you drill the hole on the top, you would need, you would also need a channel for the wires, so you probably didn't do that on the top. Okay. So maybe you did both of them on the bottom? Bearing is going in there. Let's see if we can do this without damaging it. Holy cow. That is a lot of oomph. A lot of oomph. Oh my god. That is, yeah, I definitely think I need to revert back to lowering the it's not seated. I need to revert back to lowering the flow rate. I drilled into the side. Okay, got it. I didn't want the wiring poking out the top. That makes sense. How do you have it stuck in the side? Just loose with like some like basically shoved it in there and then applied something like Kapton tape, or? There's nowhere good to grip on too for this. I don't have. Gosh, I can't wait for this printed piece to be done so we can have something to help put these in. I'm shocked that I'm shocked that I didn't think to do something like that sooner. All right, that half's in, so we can get the other half. Felt like it dropped. No, that is still not fully seated. That is nuts. Did I even get the other side fully seated? So the other side would be this one. I can't take it out now. The cover's on. Hopefully I got the other side fully seated. A nice fit with thermal paste and then held together with some... Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, boys are getting big. Landon turns 1 on the last day of the month, which is the 31st, right? 31st of the month. And then Jack is getting close to 3.5, which is just bonkers. Okay, dude. I don't know that this even needs to go in all the way. Where's this piece? Those feel like they're aligned. So I think I'm going to call that good enough. Yeah, I'm looking at the edges of them. But look at the edges like up top here. They're aligned, so I don't think it needs to be any more than that. There's not really anything good to grip onto. I would have used the Nipix for this one, but it's a curved surface, so I'd only get a tiny bit of the jaw on there. But I agree. Like otherwise that's what I would have done, or what would have helped me get it the rest of the way. All right, let's grease this up. Wait, did you say, Maurice, are you doing anything for your birthday, man? I asked you and I didn't see a reply. Yeah, I told Aaron, I was like, I feel like he was just born yesterday, basically. Let's smash all this in. It looks decent. I could probably use a little bit more. This channel looks a little dry. This one too. My mother-in-law is coming over. We're going to have a dinner with my mother and brother-in-law on Saturday. Going to celebrate properly later next month. Nice. Cool, man. Do you have did you put a special request in for dinner, or are you making something special? Growing up, I had like a handful of things I would request. It was either Swedish pancakes, Swedish meatballs, chili con carne. I think those are the main ones. Or my family's chicken tacos. Those were like my go-to birthday request dinners. Look inside the hole before you see the bearing. It doesn't bottom out. Okay, perfect. Oh, yeah, you can see it right there. Right? Yeah. All right. This photo right here shows it. There's a lip at the bottom of it. So it is fully seated then. Which makes sense as to why the top of these gears are lined. Like, that would only... If it didn't... Like, if it bottomed out and was supposed to, then either both of these would be wrong, or it wouldn't make sense that they would be, you know, aligned like that. So, all right, so we got that. I already made that piece. So this is getting shoved into, where is that piece? blind? Where? What in the world? Okay, so I am not seeing the piece I need. It is this piece, like this long gear. Wait. Ignore me, actually. I had already put it in, was spinning it a second ago. My brain is not 100% right now, apparently. Okay, let me scrape this off. Also, for anyone that's just popped in, the giveaway link for Playmaker Filament is open. So if you want to enter into that, definitely check that out. Swedish meatballs, haven't had those. God, yeah, I love Swedish meatballs. Love, love, love. Yeah, when my mom does Swedish meatballs, we have like the Swedish meatballs with mashed potato, some gravy. She makes this like really good gravy with some mushroom stuff in it, and then lingonberry, and then I can't remember what she usually does for veggie. Maybe just some like steamed carrots or something like that. But it is absolutely so good. All right, let's take this guy out of our drill. Shove this guy back into the drill. Apply lots of grease. We did that. Okay. M5 M220s. M220s. Where are you? Swedish meatball sounds so good right now. I have so many tabs open that when I just clicked on something for work, I lost a tab you're in for a moment. Yeah, I can relate to that. It's funny because I don't know if anyone else is like this, but when I have all my tabs open, I usually am like, no, I need all these tabs, and we'll click through them for a long time. But then I'll get to a point where I know, like, I've crossed the line. There's just far too many tabs across two different windows. And so instead of like taking my time and going through and just closing out the ones I don't need, I'll just close out one of my two windows, including all of their tabs, and just tell myself, well, if I haven't used it by now, then it probably isn't that important. I wonder if anyone else does that. Just basically like keeps a ton of tabs, but then all of a sudden just goes full blown like nuke mode and wipes it all out. It just hit a point of like overwhelmedness from like there's too much stuff. I can't find it. Come on, baby. Not sure why that one's not going in. Oops. It doesn't feel. I definitely crossed the line. I have 5 to 6 windows open, each with 10 to 45 tabs. That's nuts. I try not to keep more than 2 windows open, but it does end up happening because I'll end up dragging a tab out of a window and creating its own window with it. Usually it's if I'm recording something because I want to make that specific tab just full screen. And then I end up losing track of which is my main tab, or which is my main window, and which is the one I dragged from, and it gets pretty bad. But yeah, I try to keep it at 2. Compared to last year, are you happy with how your garden is done this year? Yeah, so... Oops, that went... It's a kind of a mixed bag. There's some things that I think like, wow, I did really great on this year, and other things where I did not do so good on. So, I know you've asked about it before, Dougal, but for anyone that hasn't heard, like, I last year pretty much did all my own seed starts in the garage, and I think it was like 70 something plants, and most of them, with the exception of a few herbs and peas, survived, which was not what I was expecting. And so I had a ridiculous amount of plants. This year, I tried to do soil blocking instead of using plastic cells, and everything basically died. With the exception of a few plants, like if it didn't die, it was so sad looking, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was a nutrient deficit. I don't know if it was not enough water, since it's the soil blocks, basically the root system or the soil is exposed to air on all sides except the bottom. So maybe it was just that I wasn't giving it enough water. Maybe it was my mixture. I don't know. But I ended up doing a combination of, when it was time to put stuff in the ground, direct sow, so just started seeds over again, but outside, planting some of the things that nearly looked dead, and buying for peppers, because peppers take a long time, and our season's not that big here in Idaho compared to some warmer areas. So for peppers and for some tomatoes, I bought seedlings because the ones I had were either dead or looked like they were dead. Well, not as many of the things that I thought were dead died. They ended up bouncing back. They were stunted, but they grew. And then I ended up having probably 8 volunteer tomato plants. Last year I made a whoopsie, and I grew all cherry tomatoes when I thought that half of my plants were full size, like larger tomatoes. They weren't. 7 Dana's 80 swap went just in quick. Hey man, the croc. No, we are not done yet. I broke or damaged a bearing, so we had to print out a new part. Thank you for the 30 months. So yeah, there's tomatoes everywhere. Basically last year, so many of the cherry tomatoes fell down into the ground, and I couldn't pick them. I tried picking them up, but they were talking like hundreds and hundreds of tomatoes. So some of them just sat there in the beds, on the grass, and all around it. And so there's just all of a sudden this season, like just tomato plants popping up all over the backyard. So I tore out some of them, especially in the grass. It's really weird when you're mowing the lawn, you're like, look, a tomato plant. But the ones in the garden beds I kept. And so we have now this year, like 3 larger tomato plants, which are doing great. Sun gold tomatoes, or cherry tomatoes, doing great. Maurice! It's your birthday tomorrow, and your gift and stuff, man. Thank you, Maurice. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for all the support. So I guess, okay, wrapping up. Tomatoes are doing amazing. We have way too many tomatoes, which is not a bad problem to have, but I don't like wasting. And because of how many cherry tomatoes returned from last year, I'm overwhelmed. Peppers did not do well. Basically, all the peppers I started did actually die, so those were just seedlings. So there's 3 jalapeno, 2 shishito, and 3 bell pepper. Shishito are doing great. Jalapenos are doing great. Bell pepper's not doing great. They've all got like, I can't think of what it's called, but basically like part of the pepper gets like this brown soft area. They're just not doing well, but peppers are doing great outside of that. I wish I had about 2 to 3 times the amount of peppers though. I will not be able to pickle peppers this year. I've basically used all the jalapenos for hot sauce as well as spicy pickles, which was great. Melons are doing great this year. Melons are doing awesome this year. We've got 3 cantaloupe in the fridge I just picked yesterday. Raspberries, we got raspberry bushes that are doing really good. None of the fruit trees bear any fruit this year, which is interesting. Last year, 3 out of 4 did. This year, none of them did. They grew a lot of leaves and new branches and stuff, but no. So yeah, it's doing good in some ways, in other ways not. The fruit trees I'm bummed about because the cherries were phenomenal. The plums were delicious last year, so I'm sad about that. But yeah, like the main things we got are tomatoes, lots of cucumbers, and I wish we had more peppers. Yeah, there's some things I did well and some things I didn't do well. So next year I will certainly do things differently. But overall, like, I can't really complain, because I thought, like, when the soil blocks didn't work, I thought, well, this year is just going to be like a bad year for me for the garden, and that didn't end up being the case. And then we had a, I think I told you guys like a few months ago that we had like a freak hail / slush storm, and that, I thought that killed the garden. Everything looked like someone took a weed whacker to like every plant. Like all the leaves either had holes directly through them or were mangled. Like it just, everything looked horrible. And I think every single plant recovered from that, which is crazy. It stunted them, you know, again, and like a lot of the tomatoes I got for the first 30 days after they started turning red had like all these like scab marks on them, but they tasted great. You just kind of cut off the little bit of like hardened skin on it, and it turned out great. So yeah. Could it be related to pollination? Maybe. Gotta run, have a great night. I have to mow the lawn before my first bass guitar lesson. Dude, rad. Good luck with the lawn, and good luck with the bass guitar. Yeah, we've got tons of bees in some area of the garden. The thing I'm dealing with is we have tons of wasps. There's like probably 30 or 40 wasps have taken like permanent refuge in the raspberry bushes, and there's no nest. They're just like sleeping on the plants by themselves. It's really strange. And they've been pretty docile. Is that the word? When something's not like I think docile is the word I'm thinking of. Like they've been not really problematic, but when I have to lift up this, I did 4 T-posts and basically netted the whole area, and when I have to lift up the net and get in there with like these 30-40 wasps to like pick, I'm not a big fan of that. So I am trying to figure out how to get rid of most of those wasps, even though they're not super aggressive. And at one point I was like, yay, they're pollinating the raspberries. Well, it turns out, yeah, they were pollinating the raspberries, but now the raspberries are red. They're sucking all the juices out of the raspberries and getting like a sugar rush, like a bunch of, yeah. I mean, there's some that thankfully they're paper wasps, and which is like not, definitely if you're gonna have a wasp, that's probably the one you'd want, compared to things like hornets or yellow jackets, which are so much more aggressive. But only thing wasps are good for is eliminating ladybugs. I want ladybugs though. I want ladybugs because aphids, we have aphids have gone rampant on the plum tree this year. Gopher is back, Dougal. Oh, Gopher is back. So we, after that water storm thing, no gophers until probably 48 hours ago. I went outside and was like, that dirt pile wasn't there yesterday. And so yeah, Gopher's back. I haven't seen them, but there's new dirt basically it's been pulled out. Wasp traps, and yeah, I do need to get some just to thin them out. Yeah, I am bummed about the damn gopher. I was pretty excited that he was gone. Yeah, ladybug's great. You do not want a ladybug invasion in your house. So yeah, that I don't want. That I don't want. But yeah, for the garden itself, they are awesome for eliminating aphids. I mean, if you look online at like recommendations for aphid infestation, a lot of people say to like go to your local garden center and see if they sell packets of ladybugs. All right, we are 5 more minutes and we'll do the giveaway. Today was definitely a weird stream day. I had plans to really kick butt. We got so little done today. I am not gonna by next Wednesday stream the Axel will be done. I'm gonna spend time to make sure that I get this full Axel done. Servo will be installed. I'll get all of these connected. I think I'll have us up to here. This will be done. So next week we will basically be installing all of these and mounting everything to the frame. What is that piece? Where did that come from? Okay, that must be, I don't know what. Okay, that's this. Okay, got it. That's this piece. I don't know. I want to make some good progress. That way next week we're a lot further ahead. Hey, Penguin. Let's see. I've had those a few summers in a row. You've had Ladybug, like an invasion? I have. There's been a couple times. There was one time when I took Aaron to a hike in the wilderness where there was a section where you could see like a swarm of things, and when we got closer, they were ladybugs. I've never seen, like, outside of that and maybe one other place in like deep in nature, I haven't experienced that. So yeah, that I wouldn't want. That's probably an overkill amount of ladybugs. I mean, everything like most things are good in moderation, and yeah, if we're talking that, that's definitely not great. We had several times used to make my own cider, and they would come in on apples, drive the cats mad. The other day I was in a record store and they had a Wasp Sounds record. Very odd sounding. Well, it turns out that I was listening to, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I wish I had a, I want to build, yeah. You can self-source, which I don't know if that would make it cheaper. Probably not, but it would allow you to at least like piecemeal it. Or obviously, like if you just wanted to save a little bit here and there and build up towards the full kit. But if you already have an RC, like if you've got an RC controller and some extra stuff, then it might be cheaper to self-source. Oh gosh. I have an all brick or stone house, so they will probably, no, I do not have an all brick or stone house. I have a stick house. 2x4s. GD4, yeah, GD4 Max is massive. You said that's what you wanted, nice. That's why I recommended it. You said you wanted a very large machine. Did you have someone help you team lift it at least, dude? I wouldn't want to lift that printer by itself. I'm excited and slightly nervous to use the track saw. Never used a track saw. The only saws I've really used are miter saw. I've got a cord, like this adorable little cordless skill saw that's, what is a 5-inch blade, and then I've got a wire or corded one. And then I recently got a jigsaw, and the jigsaw is cool. I like the jigsaw a lot, but I've tried using this guy with a 2x4 to cut plywood straight, and it still just never turns out great. And so I knew for the shed I'm going to have to cut a ton of plywood down. And I was asking Steve about it, and he recommended a track saw. So that's what I got. I went with it's a pretty inexpensive one compared to ones that are out there. I did a lot of kind of digging, and people either seem to say go with like a really good one, or this is one they recommended for a budget one, and the brand is, I think it's this. Yeah, it's this. I went with a 7¼ inch. Yeah, this is the one I went with. So it's this. The company is Wen. And most of what I saw was pretty good stuff. Like I saw someone compare it to, I can't remember if it was a Milwaukee or a Makita. And they definitely said like some of the stuff like just feels a little bit cheaper, but as far as actual performance goes, it was fine. So yeah, I got this guy along with an extra track. So I've got 110 inches of track or something like that. Do you see DeWalt? Fleshy bits, stay away from the blade. Yes, thank you. So I will let you guys know how this goes. I won't have much to compare it against, but when will it ship? It just got delivered actually. It's at the front door this very second as we speak. Yeah, I got the notification like 40 minutes ago that the saw was delivered. So I am excited to try it out and see how it goes. I picked up the let's see, Wen track saw clamp. I think I got quick release track saw, maybe just the 6-inch ones. I don't remember if I got the 7.5 or 6-inch version of these, but these people seem to really like as well, and that seemed handy. I'm like, I'm gonna need to clamp this down. The thing I don't have Hey Glock, late for the stream. And the main things you missed was more ranting than normal today, and then I did damage a bearing, so that happened as well. The main thing I need is I don't have any surface to cut on top of. I think when I asked Steve, he said he just used like pink foam board or whatever, like insulation board, one of those. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. I ordered a bunch of plywood from Lowe's and had them deliver it, and I forgot to order the pink foam board. So I think I can fit a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet in Aaron's SUV, but I have to take out like all the kids' seats and put all the seats down and stuff like that. You know, someone has put a track along the top of a fence and ran it across the entire top. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I guess I could, hold on, let me change it back to myself. I guess I could, I don't really have another good surface though. The cart that the Venture XL was on was, I think, roughly 40 inches by 40 inches. And so Aaron helped me lift that into the shed. And then I have two 2x4s, 8 foot long, that I put on the sides of it. And then we set all 30 pieces of plywood on top of that. And that surface could potentially work if I were to put down some other wood underneath it to act as like sacrificial wood. But I would think that with having the 2x4s, I'm definitely going to need something right underneath it to support it. Otherwise, there might be bowing, which could affect the cut. Had extra bearings when I finished mine, but you should be fine if you only damaged less than 5. Oh, nice. I've only damaged 1, so let's knock on wood. That's good to know. Thank you, Maurice. I appreciate it. If you have a sheet of 1-inch insulation foam, you can use that as a surface for... Yeah, I don't. I'm going to end up having to buy it. I don't have any foam at all. I'm wondering if it's worth getting... Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I could just get a 4-foot by 8-foot piece and then just cut it. I have never cut insulation foam. If I get a 4-foot piece, if I get a 4-foot by 8-foot piece from the hardware store, and I take it out of the parking lot and I measure the halfway point with a straight edge and just score it, is it pretty easy if I just wanted to score one side and snap it? Because I'm just thinking, like, it doesn't need to be a 4-foot by 8-foot piece. If I just butt the two pieces up against each other and then place the ply on top of it, that's fine. That would save me a lot of effort of trying to like get this massive 4-foot by 8-foot piece of foam in the SUV. You can cut that stuff with a pocket knife. Okay, cool. That's good to know. I figured as much. I've used it once for CNCing for fun, like just to run a toolpath quickly and test out the model, but I don't think I've ever cut it by hand. It was like I had a small piece that I just let the CNC do its thing. So also, based off the time, we are going to be closing the giveaway for the spool of Polymaker filament. So if you want to enter in, do so now. I'm going to close it in about a minute here. Yeah, pink foam. I don't think they sell 4x8. They're only... When I went to Home Depot, I only saw 4x8, unless I measured wrong, or I didn't think I measured, I think I looked wrong. I might have just looked wrong. That is entirely possible. No, yeah, this is what I was seeing there, was like this stuff, and it was all 4-foot by 8-foot. That is also... So 1 inch is what I would want. 1 inch. There's 4-foot by 8-foot. 2 feet by 2 feet. Yeah, I don't actually see 2 feet by. I'm probably just gonna end up buying one of these guys, and then yeah, just cutting it. No, I wasn't gonna use the track saw to cut the foam board. No, the track saw is to cut 30 sheets of 1/2-inch ply down for covering the walls. Yeah, I definitely won't use the track saw for this. I just wasn't sure what, like, if you needed a serrated blade or something like that, or if you could just basically score and snap. Wondered where Pink Panther went. There he is. Yeah, it is giveaway time. It is giveaway time. All right, I am removing the pinned link. Also, I do think I have 5 subs to give away for the month. So let me do that really quick here, because this is the last stream of the month. Can I do that? Start your poll, members only live stream. That's not what I want to do. Membership gifting. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, we got 40 likes. We hit 45. We hit 45 earlier, so we're at 40. Oh yeah, 53. 53 likes. All right, y'all. Let's do this giveaway. We have got Maurice. You get to pick how many shuffles today since your birthday's tomorrow. We got 61 responses. Hold on. There we go. 61 responses. All right, let's do this. Yeah, for anyone that is new to the stream, new to the giveaways, Polymaker is our awesome provider of giveaways on the stream. They let us give away it's a spool or a gift card, and it's global, which is awesome, every single week. And yeah, basically, if you are in certain countries, like I think it's US, Canada, and now a handful of others, and you win, you'll get a gift card. And if you're one of the other countries, you get to pick a spool of filament off their website up to 35, I think it's US dollars in value. So winner will receive a email from me later today that has the URL or the form and the unique code that you'll need. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, good luck to everybody. If you are needing to pick up some filament and you are wanting to support the channel, if you use the link in the description, it doesn't cost anything extra, and it does, portion of any purchase does go back to the channel. So thank you to everyone that has been using those links. And on that, let's see, Maurice is saying, should I do my age or what I'll be tomorrow? Ooh, I would do 40. I don't know. I would do 42, but I don't want to influence you, so you need to decide. But you'll never be 42 again, so that's why I think that this is the final time to do it. "42 is the answer." What do we do, Maurice? What do we do? 42 it is. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 41, 42. Nice. Thank you so much for the donation. Smash the like button, everybody. Also, before we leave, happiest of birthdays to you, Maurice. Good luck, everybody. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Sab's Magic, you are our winner, and I think you might be a first-time winner. The name is not in my current. That's not what I wanted to press. Congratulations to Sab's Magic. Yes, be on the lookout for a link from me. I should be able to get you that tonight. So, yeah, just take a look at your email. I don't know if Sab's is in chat or not, but regardless, you are our winner. So. Thank you, everybody, for entering in. Like I said, I am going to try to kick some butt. I've done a lot of printing, and I'm going to just continue printing parts throughout this next couple of days here. So I'm going to try to sit down and spend some hours between today and next week, so that way we're much further ahead. Also, based off my conversation with Steve during the stream earlier, it sounds like the first collaboration stream I'll be doing with Steve on the Antithesis printer build will be not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, which I think we determined was September 6th. So it'll be on Steve's channel, and it'll very likely be Steve's usual time slot, and I'm sure we'll narrow that down. But game plan is that Sunday we start on his channel, then that Wednesday we'll do the build on this channel, then we'll take 1 week off, and then we'll do the same thing again, and that probably will finish it. That seems like that's the game plan. So on that, I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week. Wish me some luck on the track saw, I originally, I need to get the loft, pieces of loft wood up, and it's a 10-foot by 6-foot loft. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 cuts in total if I get my cuts right for that, as well as there's an electrical receptacle box on both sides of the loft, so I will need to do that. I was looking at what is the best way to cut out around the electrical boxes, and a lot of people just sort of like place the wood, rough mark, and then use one of these guys, a little oscillating saw, and I was originally going to do that, but then I found this video, and this is going to sound silly, but the person basically, so I don't have the receptacles, right? I just have the blank boxes with like loose wire in there. The roughing is done. The roughing is done, not the actual like wiring up to the receptacle and putting the faceplate on, because it needs insulation and to be boarded. So what this person recommended, and I saw that you can do it with like a grease or something like that, but this stood out more, was they basically took lipstick and put lipstick on the side of the box, like where the blue, like you have your blue electrical box. Lipstick, lipstick, lipstick. Get your sheet, press it up to where it's going to be. Lipstick makes the mark on 3 spots, like so you know where your edge is and both sides. Take it down, you've got a perfect little area for where it's going to be, and then you can just take like your jigsaw and just cut it out. So I might be buying some lipstick for this build. So I have this probably engineering blue, but for lips. Wait, what? I have this perfectly good tool, or I saw a YouTube video. What is, wait, engineering blue but for lips? Yeah, so that's probably what I'm gonna do, because I know myself, and if I do like a rough pencil mark, I'm going to have larger gaps around the boxes, or my things will be slightly off. But if I'm able to get the wood and basically press it and get it perfect, everything should be much closer. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I saw it and was like, that's silly. But after watching a handful of other like professional people online doing their cutting around the box, I'm like, these are more complicated. My margin for error, like the critical thinking that I need to do is higher than just mark, slap, cut. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. You do the same to layout mortise lock. What is that? I still use oscillating saw for cutting the hole though. Over a jigsaw? How come? You think it'll be cleaner? Oh, engineering. Okay. Oh, neat. Okay, yeah, I see the lock that you're talking about. Engineering blue. I've never heard of that. Let me look it up. Engineering. I wonder if the reason why I was seeing lipstick was because the cost of lipstick is engineering blue, dark blue marking paste or fluid used by machinists to test flat surfaces, check bearings, or scribe precise layout lines on metal. Got it. That's interesting. I've never heard of that. Much easier. Jigsaw requires a hole before cutting. I will try both, and I will let you know what I end up doing. I have not used this much other than to cut tabs on a few CNC projects. And I felt like, no, the tab situation is kind of unique. I've used the jigsaw a bit more, and I feel like I've got better control over it. However, I do think that for the corners, this will be easier, like to get a perfect rectangle, like just to go in and then turn it and go in, versus the jigsaw. Like I have a bit of a hard time like going at a 90-degree with the jigsaw. I haven't mastered that yet. No, I won't use the engineering blue. The lipstick seems fine, and I can get it anywhere, and like I get the cheapest lipstick and the clearance lipstick. So hole doesn't need to be perfect. Yeah, you're right. Once the plate's on, like you would never see it. I mean, I looked, if I pull any of the plates off on our drywall for the house, like it's not perfect. So yeah, you're right. I'll just do my best to line it up, and then once the receptacles and the faceplates are on, you won't see it anyway. So there's an outline Erin, I don't even know. No, she does. She does have some. But yeah, she's never been big on lipstick. She has like a lip stain stuff, but I'm not gonna use hers. I'm not gonna use hers. I know where to draw the line. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to eat something, and then we've got gymnastics in a little while. So have a wonderful rest of your day, y'all, and I will see you guys next week. All right, take care.